A very good afternoon, everyone present here. I, Zai Rajeshirke from NASM, would be your host for the day. We welcome you to the Masterclass hosted by Nagindas Khanwala College, Malad, Mumbai, founded in July 1983. And it is one of the best colleges in the western suburbs of Mumbai. It has been imparting quality education since the last 4 decades. The college is affiliated to the University of Mumbai and is re-accredited by UGC NAC with a A grade. The college has shown tremendous growth in a short span of time and has been conferred with the autonomous college status in 2016-17. Today's initiative is by NASM, a specialized sports management educator, which is part of the education group that has been offering its services since last 20 years. It has collaborated with multiple universities, colleges, and institutions in India and abroad to provide the specialized industry relevant education services. It has collaborated with Nagindas Khanwala College at Mumbai, Vivekanand Global University at Jaipur, Swarnim Gujarat Sports University at Gujarat, and the Dubai Vertical under the name Nest Academy of Management Education with Bolton University, Dubai. Today we are in conversation with Ms. Veena Soni, the founder of Rama Sports. So, co-founder of Rama Sports, she started her venture due to her passion for the basketball. After working in media industry for 13 years, she decided to follow her passion in sports and started her own sports events company. Being an ex-media professional, she's had the opportunity to work with best news channels like CNBC, TV18, Aaj Tak as an anchor, and adds more to her experience. She's done her master's in mass communication from Kurukshetra University, and they have been working towards promotion of basketball completely. Rama Sports was started in 2018 with an aim to create platform for young ballers to play more as that is the only way to learn more. They organize basketball tournaments all over India. They also cater training requirements, which includes individual as well as group training. It is our pleasure to have with us Ms. Veena Soni. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to communicate with the young ball. I'm saying ballers because ballers is so ingrained in my way of talking. I think young college students, I should say. I'm really it's really a pleasure to be here at your platform.
It's completely our pleasure to have you, ma'am. We'll move ahead with our interaction for the day, and maybe the students can join in and share their queries to us over the period of time. So, ma'am, my
Sure.
first question to you is what motivated you to be an entrepreneur?
So I will pick up from you only, as you just mentioned that because of her passion, she picked up. She opened her own event management company. So that is the only word I would say to define my whole experience change, career change, I would say. So I played sports when I was in school, and I was quite good at it, I would say. But when I was in school, I think sports was not given its due respect. I think right now also you correctly mentioned that India is not a sporting nation. When we were talking, I think of when we were not live, we were just talking that India is not a sporting nation as of now. You are right. But when I was young, I'm talking about 20 years back when I was in school. So sports was not there at all. But I was fortunate enough to have a basketball court in my school, which was a big thing at that time. But hardly any girls would play. And of course, I'm from Delhi, so Delhi weather is very hot. Most of the time, it's hot, and it's very difficult to play outdoors. So infrastructure wise, we're still there. We still have open courts. That time it was a new facility at our school. We were very excited because we were allowed to play for a little while at that court. But then, yeah, there was study pressure, and we never knew that there can be a career in sports. And when we go to school, the main aim behind sending your kids to school is that they would have a career and they will study. So my parents were of the same opinion that I should study rather than play sports, and especially in the hot weather. So they were worried about the health, they were worried about the, yes, complexion, that my parents correctly mentioned it, I would not hide it. And after ninth, maybe for a year or 1.5 years when I played, after that, because I had board exams, my parents told me that, see, you have to study. And I was good at studies, I would say, if I compare myself as a sports person. And a person who's into academics. Yes, I was better in studies than in sports. So even your coaches, your teachers, your parents, everyone push you towards studies. They never tell you that you can do both. So 20 years back, it wasn't an option that you can do both. If you're good at studies, you please pick up studies. It's going to be more rewarding. So that's what I was taught. And my father was working with Supreme Court. My mother was working with Electricity Board. So of course they were well educated for people who had never played any sports, not even running in their lives. So of course I was pushed, or maybe yes, I was also inclined. I won't say that really pushed, but yes, I was also inclined towards studies than towards sports. So I chose academics over sports, and then started my education and did my BCom honors, and then did my masters. And then of course when you're doing mass communication, you get into media. That's how the line is. uh, so I got into media, and when the life took whole circle, my kids started playing, and they wanted to play basketball. Now they don't play, but yeah, when they picked up a sports, they picked up basketball, and that's how I remembered my time. Oh, this was the only sports that I ever played, and I started learning with them. To tell you the truth, it wasn't in my mind that I'm going to start a business. It wasn't in my mind that I'll be creating a platform, or people will come and play. So my passion just was reignited, I would say, and I started learning. I started training with my kids, and when I was training, so my coach was Amar Gaikwad, and he's also the co-founder of Rama Sports. So he organized a tournament wherein I also played, and of course some other players were called to play. And I really liked the way he managed everything. So he told me that he has been doing it at a very small scale, and the idea germinated from there, actually, that I want to take it forward, and I want to bring make it as a platform wherein other players, because I got so excited to play that tournament. Maybe after 20 years I was playing that tournament, because in school, yes, I had a little brush with tournaments at school level, but it wasn't taken any further. So it gave me a lot of excitement. It gave me a lot of thrill, I would say. And I thought, why not to, give it to everyone else who's playing the sport. So that's how the shift started. And I had spent so many years in media. So I thought maybe it's time to challenge myself. It's time to do something new. So that's how my career took a different turn altogether.
Interesting to know, and really happy to learn that the coach who taught you is one amongst your partners. That's how what we say, grounded to our values and to our origin always. Interesting to know that. uh, it is good to see you involved in sports, where we generally see few female members involved in the business side of the sports. So, what are the skills required to be on the other side of the field? Of course, passion goes without saying, but what more qualities and skills do you think would be required to actually manage the line of the business side?
Okay, I think all the skills that are required are being taught at your university through your courses, because it's always better to have a professional guidance. It's always better, because for me, a lot of hit and trial things happened because I didn't know how to go about it. I was always doing a job. I was never
Hmm.
into a business, so I never knew that. Okay, if I manage my accounting side this way, it's gonna be better. If I manage my planning like this, it will be better. So for us, yeah, it was a lot of hard work, I would say, that we did, because we were new. My coach, yes, he was into basketball for 15 years. Now it's 17, 18 years for him into basketball, but business was something that he had also not tried.
Right,
So taking it to a different level, making it an intercity, I would say it's not, because Rama Sports is not just into Mumbai. Yes, our headquarters is in Mumbai, but we are present currently at 5 different cities. So we are
right.
present at Surat, at Pune, at Bangalore, at Nashik, and Mumbai. So
Nice.
yes, it was a lot of hit and trial for us. So it's always good if you are doing a professional course in it. But profession, I would say, if you are continuously doing an activity, you become a professional yourself as well. But then as you correctly mentioned, that passion is the first thing to start as a business person, as a business entrepreneur. uh, Second thing I would say is a lot of hard work. You need a lot of hard work. So we have had a lot of sleepless nights figuring out how to do things, how to understand. For me, yes, I knew the sport from the top, but understanding the game. So in case you have a lot many sports, if you're doing a business and you're managing a lot many sports, knowing that sports is very important. Knowing the basics, knowing the rules and regulations. Like if you're organizing an event, you should understand that what kind of sport it would be, or how will the referee react, how would the table work, how would any other official who is working with you, what are you expecting from them? If you don't understand their roles and responsibilities, so how will you guide them, that you are supposed to do that? So a lot of hard work. Then you need to have right connect, I would say, uh, because you need to connect with a lot of people if you're doing an event. So basically, I'm talking about my business. So we do a lot of events. So in case you have a good connectivity, then you can pull in more crowd in your event.
Right.
And you can get, of course, good manpower to work with you if you have good connect. So that's it, I would say. That and in case you're doing a course, I think that really helps you a lot, because that takes care of all the things, that right from planning to your PR to getting your sponsors. I'm sure you are teaching them a lot of things to give them a 360-degree development, which they really require when they start working.
Right. So, with what you're saying, the importance of formal education, yes, we are that brings a lot of responsibility to us to make them industry ready. But like you said, hats off to you for your hard work, which has surely got you to where currently you are standing. So, that's really amazing to know. There is one more notion that people have is to enter into a sports industry or maybe sports business. Like you said, you knew the game basketball, but a lot of people who feel that if they're a non-sports person and then entering into this field of sports, it is very difficult. So what is your take on that?
See, again, it will go back to the passion word, because if you want to do something, you really have to have that drive inside you, because passion means that you really want to do it. It's there, it's coming from inside that you want to do it. So if you have that drive, that passion, so looking at myself, it's my personal opinion, it's my personal experience that I have never played a district level tournament as well, to tell you the truth. Yes, school level is something else than a district level, and then you play national, then you play state, then you play national, and then you play for India. So there is a
Correct.
whole lot of process that goes to become an athlete, to become an international athlete. But yeah, if you've experienced some kind of sport also, I think you learn the basic qualities of a sports person. But even if you are not a sports person, if you really love the game, if you have a drive inside you, and of course if you are going through a formal training. So first of all, if you're joining a sports management course, which means you have the drive, you have some inclination towards getting into sports, and that's how you're getting into sports, whether you have played a formal tournament or you haven't played a formal tournament. So the basic thing is, if you have a drive, if you can learn new things, if you can grasp new things, and if you are uh, if you think that this is something that you want to achieve in life, then whether you are a sports person or you're not a sports person, you can learn a lot of things, and you can get into the sports profession. And it's not just the player who makes the sport. So there are a lot of things that you have to do
Lot.
outside also, whether so like right now we two are on the screen, but then when we were planning for this, there are a lot of people who are involved in it. So same way, maybe we two are the players right now who are driving this, but there is a team which is involved behind as well. So even
Correct.
if you're not playing, that doesn't mean that you can't be part of the sports industry. There are a lot of other things which are related, which can make you a part of the sports industry. So it doesn't have to be that you need to be just a sports person or an athlete to be in this industry.
Right, right. So, of course, your passion and readiness to hard work, I think that can make you reach and achieve any goal, whether it is the sports industry or any other industry possible. So, you will be able to achieve the same. Nice. Out of all the games, the game that has interested you most is basketball. So, is it only because of the exposure to basketball, having a coach in your school, or is there something else that excites you about basketball?
So yes, of course, it's my experience. That's the first thing. And somehow I was never interested in cricket. So at my house when I was young, of course, at everyone's house, I think cricket is the only thing that is watched. So
Watch.
somehow the cricket never excited me, and there was none other sport that I could ever pick up. Yes, in between, in fact, now also I do yoga. Yes, but that I won't consider it as a sport. So the only sports that I ever played in my life is basketball, and of course it's a very exciting. In case you have seen any game
Very
of basketball, you would understand that how fast is it if you compare it to any other sport. In fact, it is the second fastest sport
yes,
in the whole world after ice hockey. So it's
yes,
it's like a game which can change in just fraction of seconds. The whole game can turn around. So it's the whole excitement level that is around this game. If you have ever seen an NBA game or if you have ever seen a live game, you would understand that how exciting it is to watch. Playing, yes, of course, it is quite exciting, and you will just be enthralled. But just watching it can be so exciting. If you see the fans, also, you will understand by their reactions, that how fast is this. So something fast, it gives you an adrenal rush, I would say. And so this is the game which is very exciting, and it's a very watchable game, I think. Uh, Cricket, as compared to basketball, I would say it's a very slow game. Maybe you can just go and take a walk and come back, and sometimes you see, oh, acha 10 run hi bana hai. But basketball will just finish maybe in that time. So why it's so. I'm so attached to it, and I'm so attracted towards the game. That's why basketball is life, I would say.
I can so relate to you right now because the school that I come from is, so we are the national champions for basketball,
Oh
and
wow.
basketball tournaments have always interested me, and it's super fun to watch those. So I really understand where you're trying to connect all of us to, and yes, maybe we will have more opportunity to be watching Indian players and more tournaments that we will be able to watch other than the international ones, hopefully
Of,
in the near future.
of
Yes.
course, of course.
So, talking about Rama Sports. So, how was this established? So, you've told me the story. Is there something more that we would love to hear from you?
Okay, I think I've told you the story how it all started, and that's so 2018. Yes, we did some paperwork that is required, and that paperwork was done to make it give it a formal uh,
Formal
entity.
structure.
To make it a formal entity, you need to do some paperwork, which was done, of course, with the help of a CA, and that's how it just worked out. We started with Mumbai, and uh, of course, as we started, there were no plans, to tell you the truth. When you start a business, there is generally a 5 year, 10 year down the line plan. But somehow we started with a very different way, I would say, that we had no plans, to tell you the truth, no 5 year or 10 year down the line plans. In fact, this COVID has changed all the plans when we really made the plans. So now I feel that yes, we were very good without a plan, because as soon as we structured everything, everything was derailed by this COVID. But that's how life is, It's
Yes.
uncertainty is something that's very interesting, just similar to a game that you never know what is going to happen next. So same way, I would say that generally when businesses come into structure, they generally make a vision and mission. Yes, we had a mission and a vision, of course, when we started, but we
Yes.
never had a 5 year or 10 year plan, which we made in 1 or 2 years of our functioning. So 2018 we started, and by 2020 we had a 10 year plan. Yes, where we are heading to. Uh, so I would say that in case if anybody wants to start a business, it's always good to have a plan, because that's how you reach your goals. Of course, we had a goal that yes, we want to make a platform wherein anyone, whatever age they are, because usually if you have a district championship, if you have a state or any championship, there are some restrictions about age, about different criterias. But here we wanted to create a platform wherein even if you have retired, you can come back and play. It's not
Right.
that if you are of a certain age, then only you can come and play. So if you watch our tournaments, so there are kids ranging from 8 years to 75 years. I call them
Oh,
Kid India because they still enjoy playing. So yes, 3, 4 times we had people who were like 70, 75 years old, and they just wanted to play because generally there is no place they can go and play, and it's a different feel when you play a tournament, even if it's a pickup game. So
yes.
so that excitement is something, when some 75-year-old guy plays in your court and you're just watching, wow, really. And when he shares the stories, or when I was young I would do this, I say, no, you're still young. There is age is just a number. So, so, so it's fun, to see the young kids also, some 8 or 10-year-old kids playing so well, and they've just started playing some 2 years back, and when their parents and when their coaches are happy to see them, because for 10 years old hardly any tournaments take place. But so we're just trying to make a connect with all age groups so that they can just come and play. So basically, the idea was that on a Sunday, instead of going to a mall, you come to a
Hmm.
basketball court, and you don't have to just send your child away. You can come and you can also play. So whether it's you're a mom or a dad or brother or a sister, in case you just want to dribble, because it's not that you are competing for a state level or a national level wherein your coach won't allow you to play. Because generally what happens at senior tournaments, at very professional tournaments, that in case you're good, then only you will get chance to play. Otherwise, yes, you are there in the team, but then you don't get the chance to play. But here the whole idea was that everyone gets a chance to play. So our teams are smaller. It's not that you need to have a 12-member team. Our format is little different
Ma'am,
than the.
to the format, we'll want to know more about that. But what currently interests me is you talking about these grassroots platform. So, how important is grassroots promotion for or grassroots development in India for the promotion of sports? Like you're really working hard for basketball, I can see.
Yes, so grassroots, of course, sports starts from grassroots. So, in
Yes.
case you really want to represent India right now, when we speak about India and when we speak about international events, whether it's basketball or football, except cricket, I would just keep cricket aside. The rest, any of the sports, if we talk about, we don't hear that any Indian teams are at the top or they're anywhere close to the top also. Though our sports minister Kiran Rijiju says that that we want to see India as a sporting nation. In fact, his word says that he wants to see India as a sports superpower. Uh, that are his words. And into by 2028, he wants India to be in top 10 Olympic nations. So maybe our tally has to increase that much. And if you've heard about Khelo India initiative, which is started by the government, and I would just relate it to the sports management also, because sports development actually starts from grassroots. If you want to see India as a top nation in sports by 2028, that means you have to start right now. It's 2020. So
Yes.
though we talk about, okay, it's 8 years of time, but if we talk about somebody who would be competing in Olympics at 18 or 19 years of age, he would be 8 or 9 years right now. So he
Now,
has to start right now. That means you have to identify that talent right
correct.
now if you want that child to perform in the Olympics after 8 to 10 years. Right. So if
Right.
you're not doing the grassroots development, how will you make yourself a sporting nation? So grassroots comes from the schools, from the parents. First of all, the PE coaches. So yes, government is taking some initiatives. So right now, though there is lockdown, but yes, the sports ministry is currently talking to all
Yes.
the states and the union territories, trying to create Khelo India centers. So
Centers.
Yes, every state they have said should have 1,000 Kalo India centers, which means so Kalo India Center, let's say it's a center for grassroots development, but then somebody has to manage it. And if you are already
Right.
having a sports management degree or a diploma, then of course you are eligible to manage that Kalo India Center.
Center.
Yes,
Right.
there would be
Right.
a procedure of getting employment, and of course, I'm not saying that this is going to happen today.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that okay, everything is going to happen. Yes,
Hmm.
okay, you would say, oh, government is just saying 1,000 centers banenge to so. Okay, let's say it's 50 also. If 50, because I am kind of a person who always sees the positive side instead of saying, "Arey, ye ho jayega, ye nahi hoga." Okay, of course, that's how life is. We never thought that COVID-19 will happen and whatever we have planned could not happen, right? So, so in case government is saying it's going to create 1,000 Kalo India centers in every state, which will include all the districts. So that means you can look at the job opportunities that will be coming out. Sooner or later, it will happen, right? So nothing happens with just a click, right? So you
Right.
need to be patient. So right now, I will say, see, during this lockdown, so there was one course that happened for 30 days for PE teachers.
Hmm.
This was organized by Fit India Movement, which is another initiative of the government.
By the government.
And the PE teachers were told their role, that how can they identify the players at young age? Because I think that's the first interaction of a child. PE teacher is the in every school is the first interaction of a child. And if a PE teacher knows how to identify the talent, because PE
Yes.
teacher is the one who can actually talk to the other teachers also, to the parents also, and tell them, I saw that this guy or this girl has some kind of talent, at least. So if they're 7, 8, because generally you start going school by 3, 4 years of age, and by 7, 8, uh, if a teacher is able to identify the talent, that's how the grassroots development works.
Yes.
You really don't need to go to a coaching class at the very initial stage. But identifying the talent at a young age, so training PE teachers for that is the best thing that was done by
Very
the
much.
Fit India movement, I think. So grassroots is important in case you are looking at a longer term goal. So same way identifying talent. If I come to basketball now, identifying talent at the club level, because a lot of kids go to these nearby clubs, whichever club is near to their house, they would go there and they would start playing. So the coach has a very big responsibility of identifying the talent at the grassroots level if you really want to take the sports further. So you can't just tell somebody that okay, you're 18, you start playing right now and you're playing the nationals or you're playing for the country. So if you have not picked up the talent at the right age, which is the grassroots level, uh, there's no chance that you will be able to make ourselves a sporting nation.
Right. So, your the base for any sport has to be strong, and that is your grassroots. So, of course, we
Yeah.
can see a lot of government initiatives and their actions working towards the grassroots side, and hopefully things are going to. We are going to become a sports nation, like not only Sir's aim, but yes, as sports person, as Indian citizens, all of us wish for the same thing. Right. Um so, ma'am, now we would want to know a little more about the various kind of sporting events in organized under your banner. So, what are the various formats that you've had, and how do you attract players and get out the child in them?
Okay, so we are right now just into basketball and some adventure sports as well, which I will put some light on. So first, I will just talk about basketball. So it's a very fun format. So it's a half court 3-on-3 format that we organize always, so that the team is just of 3 or 4 players and everyone gets a chance to play. So that was the whole idea to start with. So first we started with Mumbai, and in Mumbai we were having tournaments every month, and then we started in Pune as well. So we were having a tournament in Pune every month. Uh, then Surat we started, and Surat we had a tournament every month. So every month we had one tournament, one event, you can say, at each city. Then we had started at Nasik and Bangalore, where we just had one event at both the cities, and after that, yes, coronavirus stopped all the plans. So that's how it all started. That's how it was going on. That every month we would have a tournament, an event at one city, and then we had some adventure activities going on for some corporate houses. So there are team building activities that these corporates do, in case you're aware of. So there is a lot of stress in the corporate structure as it goes nowadays. So they usually in a year, or sometimes in once in 6 months, they plan to take the whole team outdoors and try to do team bonding. So we
Right.
were doing some adventure sports for them. So we would take them either for trekking or river rafting. So
Oh,
anything that engages them in a different way in the outside. So we would call this program as outside the meeting room. So yeah, so we would just take them, though they would talk about their businesses and their future plans there also. But yeah, it's a different kind of setup, and you get to know. So you get to know each other a little better, and it's just fun way to connect with your colleagues and connect with your team. And this is what we were doing as of now.
nice, nice. So, like you're specifying, actually, this the various events that you're doing under your banner. I think 3 year side really interests me for a reason because basketball has always been a group sport, and to excel or your performance really depends on the other four players playing. So lesser number of players, I think it's a win-win situation for the player and for the organizing team as well. So I think it's a nice format, and more can be explored in this, hopefully.
Yes, yes, of course. In fact, 3-on-3, and after that, we started 1-on-1 as well, because a lot of players would tell me. So this is how it started. That a lot of players would call me that I don't have a team. Can you help me get two more players? So I said it's just get hold of anyone. You can just come. Three people can come and start playing. And sometimes they would not be able to find those two or three players also.
Right.
And I would just call them. Okay, you just come and just watch the games in case somebody wants an extra player. Because we allow four also sometimes. So I said in case there is they don't have a fourth player, you can be the fourth player. That you can be at least a substitute. So they would come, and once guy has shifted from Tamil Nadu, and he came, and he just came for the tournament, and he said, "Can I just be the substitute?" I said, "You have to talk to the other people, if they want to involve you in this." And then we thought, why not just do one-on-one, for people like these who are so passionate about the sport that they would just come to watch. So having a viewer, okay, you coming and playing and bringing along your parents, that's a different thing. But somebody who's just coming to watch the game because he's so passionate about it, and once you are into it, then you realize, oh, seriously, people are so serious about this game. Okay, great. So that's how this one-on-one idea came in our mind, and we started doing this one-on-one also. So we would have this 3-on-3 pickup games, and then we would say, in case you want to stay back for one-on-one, because we will be having from this time to this time, we will be having a one-on-one, or we will be having some skill challenge. So in case you want to participate, and that's how things started developing. So that's how we started having more and more events. So during that one event only, we would have various activities for different age groups, and various activities for people who are just come alone without anyone. So they would also get involved in the sport.
Interesting to know. So, the kind of adaptations you're making and actually providing a lot of platform to these people. So that's what is really required. All one wants to do is play. They do not really expect some incentives or tournament trophies or something, but an opportunity to play. So really happy to know and would want to participate in one game for sure. You could find me in next
Most
of your
welcome.
tournament. Okay. So, like we were saying about watching the games, spectators. We know how important it is to have spectators for a particular tournament or a game. And with the COVID-19 times, we've seen the English Premier League being played without the spectators. And they really added the hooting sound effects and cheering sound effects, of course, every time they scored a goal. But what is your opinion? So, is this the new adaptation that is going to happen? Or can you find some positivity in this as well?
Okay, so the digital age, I think, has made everything easy. So as I said, that I'm always the one who's looking at the silver lining. Yes, of course, it's difficult to create a kind of energy in the stadium in case players are playing and they're used to, because nobody is used to playing in an empty stadium. They always thought if the stadium is empty, that means the teams are not good enough. That's why nobody came to watch them. So that was the criteria. But now, as COVID-19 has put us in a situation where we need to maintain social distancing, and where we need to maintain certain things so that we don't get infected, and sports is something that has never been played like this. But then,
No.
after every pandemic, if we see the history also, something or the other thing changes. We have to get into a new life.
Right.
It can't be same. Everything cannot be same. We have to adjust. For players, that nobody is there for me, nobody there to support me. But then they also know that during this digital age, everything is being telecasted live on a television set. Everything is being telecasted on OTT platforms, and there are apps that are updating the live score. So not just the football thing. In fact, uh, West Indies and England are playing without any spectators. Their test
Yes.
series is going on in England. Their first two tests are done. The third test would be starting on Friday. Um, so that's also coming live on TV, and everyone is enjoying it. After that, BCCI is thinking of starting IPL without any spectators. Maybe in UAE they will have the IPLs, though it's not confirmed yet. But more or less, they are thinking to have it in UAE and not cancel this season. In fact, NBA is starting its season on 30th of July this month, and they have created a bio bubble. That means all the players are inside that bio bubble. They have created a designated area in Orlando, and the players, once who enter the bio bubble, they're not allowed to leave till the time all the games are done. So by
Done.
September, they will have their finals. That means for almost 2-3 months, they will be staying there only, finishing up all their games. And then after the season is over, they are allowed to go back to their houses. So I'm sure everyone will be able to adapt it, and thankfully with the media, with the digital development, I don't think so that it will be a problem to reach out to the viewers. And also with the virtual reality headsets, viewers can have actually the live experiences of the game. So and technology is changing, technology is developing every minute, I would say. See, because now
Right.
everyone is working indoors on their laptops, on their phones. In fact, the IT guys, I have a few friends in IT, and they also are telling me that we are developing apps which we were never developed. We never thought that these ideas would ever come. So as you say, when you are in the middle of a crisis, you find ways to get out of it. So mankind, I think, is so powerful. Our brain is so powerful that we will find ways to fight it. And even if a vaccine is little far away, because not sure that how long it's going to take, but we will find ways to entertain and to bring sports to the people. And I'm sure everyone is working towards it. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. It's really it's what we have to do. Our adaptations is actually going to help us, and molding a little bit Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you too.
Seems like some technical issue. Like Meena ma'am said, spectators or no spectators, we are still trying. Yes, perfect. Okay, so that brings me to our next question, which is, we've observed this trend, like because of the pandemic, everything is going online now. So, as Rama Sports, are you also conducting any online events or something that you're trying to keep engaged with your ballers?
So yes, of course, thankfully in this digital age, we are able to connect. So this is how we are also connected right now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm saying that yes, during this, I think technology is the boom for all of us. Right now, also we are connected. We are sitting at homes. I'm
Meena ma'am.
sitting at my house, and you are sitting at your house, and we are still connected through this technology. So yes, we are trying to keep our spectators and our basketball community also engaged during this pandemic. So right from when we got into COVID-19 and we stopped all our events and we were at home. So this was March 17th. That was the last time I think I went out. And immediately after that, yes, so it's more than 4 months. It's going to be 5 months soon, I think. Uh, yeah, 4 months and few days. Yes, it has happened. It is like that. I'm at home.
Yes.
So right from that time we started connecting with a lot of basketballers. So right now I am giving a question answer round to you. So we started talking to a lot of basketballers who have played for India. So for a month we started a whole series wherein they would motivate the ballers how to be active at home, what can they do, how they started their career. So it was a motivational chit chat and some tips, of course, how things can be done indoors. So it's not that if you're not at the court, you can't do anything else. So I'll talk about basketball. So if you are at home, you can still dribble, you can still work on your action, you can still work on your speed, you can still work on your agility, you can still work on your strength, your flexibility. Yes, you can't shoot a basket, which has a different meaning altogether, but there is still a lot of things that you can still do if you even have half a room to yourself, or maybe a balcony, or maybe some passage. So you don't need a very big space as well. Yeah, for just a shooting a basket, maybe you need some space. For that also we came up. So there are a few seniors who guided us that yes, you can have a bucket. You can actually have a real bucket, and you can start shooting in that bucket also, in case you have some space in the house. So there are a lot of things that can still be done indoors. So first we started that whole series of motivation for the young bowlers. We spoke to all the international players who have represented India. So that was the first round, and after that we started with the layup contest. So everyone was supposed to send us their layups, which they had sometimes taken in the past. Of course, they were not supposed to go out and record it. So that was another thing that we had, another event, you can say. And then now we are at the third event. I would say that we have associated with the Rotaract Club of Lokhandwala in Mumbai, and we are collecting some donation for the needy people. So the ballers have to record some moves, any move, anything they can do with the basketball, maybe dribbling, maybe some actions or some rotations, something unique they have to do. The event is called Groovathon. So they have to record a short video of themselves of 1 minute, and they have to send it to us. And we will be collecting the proceeds, and it will be going towards helping the needy, towards providing masks to the needy people, towards feeding the stray animals. So we thought, yes, as we have a community connected with us, so we are very active on social media, and as we have a community connected with us, so we do have some social responsibilities, and that's how we thought that we will also contribute towards the society.
So having this groovathon, I think students must be enjoying the most. And we combine virtual being balanced. Can you hear? Veena ma'am, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think now, ma'am, there was some disturbance in between, and yes, there was some connectivity. I think your voice was
Issue.
cracking in between.
Okay. I'll move to the another question, wherein
Yes.
like we've been saying and specifying that even as India has started to embrace different sports beyond cricket that we're talking about, it is yet to develop to become a sporting nation. So we're in our developing phase. So what are the steps that is the need of the hour for grassroots development in India? So is there any particular thing that we could be doing?
I think we discussed it, ma'am, that identifying talent at a very beginning is very important, and working at the school level, at the clubs level is very important, so that we can identify kids at the very beginning and develop them by the time they're 18, 19, and then they reach the international level. That's how things work, from the basic till the topmost level.
Hello.
I think there is some time lag, ma'am. I think I'm finishing, and then there is a lot of time lag that's happening.
No worries, ma'am. But like you specified, beginning early is, I think, the major area that needs to be focused upon. And not only beginning early, but sustaining for a longer period of time. So by the time, that's my personal opinion. By the time they are at the age to be playing, they retire due to studies in that 10th and 12th, wherein there is boards and then exposure to universities. So maybe beginning early and sustaining for a longer period of time could be one thing that is the need of the hour. Now, moving ahead, you know, you, as we know, that Rama Sports is very well partnered with Decathlon, and you have been doing several number of events, including Decathlon Vaguli, Decathlon Dama Roads, and many more. So, if you could share any challenging experience and the learning that you've had through that particular sports event, from conceptualizing to implementation of the event.
Okay, so I think conceptualization would always be easy somehow for from me, because it's done on the paper. Uh, if an idea comes to you, it's always on a laptop or a paper that you write it down. Okay, I will do this. I will do this. I will, and then you divide it into parts, and then you divide it into sub parts. Then you segregate things. Okay, so everything from co- planning, conceptualization. I think that's the easier part for me. Yes, implementation can be little challenging always, because there are a lot of people involved in it, right? And the better your communication is, the better your implementation would be, I think. But sometimes then you're dealing with different people who have a different set of communication skills. Some are elder to you, some are younger to you, some are of your age, and you have to understand that you have to communicate according to them and not according to you. Sometimes you feel that you are communicating the right thing, but maybe their understanding, their interpretation may be little different than yours, because everyone has been grown up in a different environment, listening to different things, learning different skills. So if you're talking to somebody who's 18, 19 years old, you can't talk to a person who's 70 years old in the same way. If you're talking to a referee, you can't talk to the table official in the same way. If you're talking to a parent, or if you're talking to a coach, so there are a lot of people involved. So I think communication is the key. Sometimes that's the challenge, how to how to put across your things and get it done in the way that you want it to happen, right? And then sports is a I think it's a lot of passion and a lot of excitement is involved. So sometimes a lot of so there I don't want to use anger, but a lot of energy, I would say. And sometimes that energy can be little negative also in the players only. Because once I remember, I won't name the players, but yes, so I have seen a lot of players picking up a fight with the referee or with the table official because they would say, oh, this scoring is not right, or you haven't taken a right decision. Okay, so one
Right.
very challenging thing happened with us was so little argument is, I think, it's a part of the game. That's absolutely fine, because if you think the judgment is wrong, you have to question. But sometimes it just goes beyond the way then again, I said communication skills is very important. So the way the player talked to the referee, he may take it as an offense. So once this happened, that two players started fighting, and the fight became so ugly that they started hitting each other, and we had to get in and separate them. And I disqualified both the teams, that you can't play. This is not how it is, and it's just a pickup game. It's not that you're reaching a national level, or if you don't win this, you're the prize money is also so small that you will just have a party and the prize money is gone. So it's not that you're playing for a lakh and you fight with each other. So I'm just disqualifying both the teams. So, okay, they both agreed, okay, fine, we'll never play. And I said, okay, absolutely, all right, that's your judgment, it's okay. And both the teams agreed that, okay, they will not play the tournament. And when they stepped out of the court, they started fighting. So one of the teams was very close to their house, I think was very close to the playing ground, the court. And they had called a lot of people from their house, and they had come with hockey sticks, and they had come with the other equipment that we are going to hit the other team as well. And so this whole scene was, and so yeah, we are at the court, but we can't let something happen outside, just outside the court also. If tomorrow you're doing something, that's a different thing. But my court, let's say my court is this much, you can't just start fighting just outside it, right? So you can't spoil the name of our event also, that
Event.
this happened at this event. So then we had to literally make both of them understand that how this can spoil your lives. You have called so many people with sticks and with equipments to hit this one guy. Of course he will be hit, but then you imagine that how big this will become. So managing them was a challenge, but and it took almost 3 hours. So and and we and the best thing was, my team was so sorted that they kept the event going. So it wasn't that this fight was happening and our event stopped for those 3 hours. Our event finished during that 3 hours, and
Nice.
we were still dealing with them, trying to make them understand that uh, you can't do this here. I will call the police, and then maybe you do this. So I had to take it to such extreme level, and then after 3 hours, this thing was sorted. And this was, I think, till now my most challenging uh,
Of course,
experience, I would say.
3 hours of dealing with teenagers, the angry teenagers.
Yes,
Nothing
yes,
difficult than that.
yes. And they were just 17. They were playing under 18 tournaments, so they were 17 years of age, ideally.
So, people management is really an important area which all of us need to focus upon. Interesting. Ma'am, let's come to the last question, and then maybe we can have a couple of questions from the audience. We'll have to give them a little span of time. So, with the COVID-19 and talking about the new normal, so what do you think would be the various adaptations that one can make in their sports?
So the first thing is, of course, you have to take care of the safety, because the safety of the players, the safety of the audience is of utmost priority. So right now, the way it has started for the sports without any audience, because at least the sports have started after a gap of 4 months, everything has
Yes.
started slowly. Of course it is slow, the pace is slow, and that's how it will be in the coming months. So I'm not saying that tomorrow or in a month or 2 months everything will be back to normal. That's not possible. We have to adapt to something that has changed, so safety would be the first thing that everyone has to take care of, whether it's players or coaches or parents or anyone who's coming with them. So first, I think we would need to ask them in case something starts at a local level also. Right now, it's happening at the bigger level. So they are checking the players before they are taken to the um, places where so if let's say NBA is starting at Orlando, so before leaving for Orlando, they are being checked for COVID. In case there is even a slight symptom, the players are not allowed to go to Orlando. So once they reached Orlando, they were checked again. So they were quarantined first of all. They were not allowed to see each other also. So once they
Oh,
reached there, yes, they were quarantined for 14 days. Everyone was quarantined, and there are 345 or 46 players who were tested after their quarantine period ended. So this is a bio bubble. Means in case you enter this bubble, you are not going out. If you are out, you're not coming in. So once you
right.
enter the bio bubble, you are quarantined, then you are tested. So everyone, right from the players, the coaches, the camera people, the staff who will be cleaning,
Hmm.
everyone, the managers, the PR team, the media team, everyone who's inside the bubble is being tested, quarantined, and that's how. So now the players are tested, and they all have come negative. So none of the players who's in the bio bubble is corona positive. So that means they are they are limiting the disease that nobody should contact it. Once they are inside the bio bubble, nobody should spread it. So that would be the first thing. If we can't do it at a large scale, because we are talking about the international level. So if we are doing it at a local level, maybe we will ask them for a COVID test that they will have to prove in case they are participating in a tournament, that they are they are negative. They should carry that test. So if you know about a lot of societies, so in case somebody is coming to repair an AC, also they have to produce a COVID test that they are negative. They don't have any symptoms. So in case the tournaments are being started, so for the safety, yes, at the beginning. As an organizer, we will also have to see that nobody is having any symptoms. So first thing is that they need to carry their COVID tests with them, and of course, sanitization would be another thing that will be taken care of. Uh, that everything is clean, everything is sanitized. Uh, in a group activity, yes, because it's a team sport, so one ball is being used, but then yes, they will not be allowed to use their saliva in any ways, in case that they're touching their nose or ears, or so maybe there would be a penalty for that as well. So in case you've read about cricket, that now they're not allowed to put their saliva on the ball, and in
Hmm.
case they are caught doing that, there is a penalty that they will have to pay. So similarly, maybe we will have to follow such rules and regulations, because as you say, health is wealth. Yes, sports is something that unites the youth, and it inspires the youth, and it brings joy across the nation, I think. But then yes, health is something that cannot be risked at any
Very
case. Yeah.
correct. Very correct. So maybe a few more additions to the penalties. I think there could be adaptations that could be made. So that we can see a possibility to tweak a bit. Okay, let's take a few questions from the audience end. So one of the questions says that we're talking about scouting talents in basketball. So what are the components that we should look at in young kids? So okay, so should it be playing expertise or body features like height, explosive strength, etc.? I know you believe in hard work, but yes, this question still comes to you.
So, see, if it's young, it all depends on what age group are you talking about. If you're really talking about 12 years old kids which are being scouted, then I don't think so they will have any explosive energy as of now, because that's a very young age. So maybe I have never been into a scouting team, but what I have seen is at a very young age, it's the height that generally the selectors look at, and they think if the kid is trained well, he will be able to pick it up.
Pick it up.
So
Nice.
nowadays, NBA is also scouting young talent in the country. So NBA Junior Academy is here in India, and they are scouting a lot of young talent. And I've seen that most of the kids that are being selected by NBA is because they're tall. So basketball is one sport. Yes, you have a little advantage whether you say yeah, a shorter player can do this, do that, but not at a very young age, because at a very young age maybe you don't have the skills, you don't have that explosiveness. So if you're tall enough, maybe the coach thinks that all the other capabilities they can develop. But yes, if it's for a team which is under 18 maybe, uh, and at that age, if you're being selected, if the scouting is happening at that age, which is 17, 18, or 16 also, I would say. So at that time, yes, your skills do matter, because by the time you're 16 you should have learned. They
Yes.
expect you to have learned the skills.
Yes.
They don't expect you to fumble with your dribble. They don't expect you to not being able to take a pass or a catch. So
Correct.
or missing your shots. So it all
Hmm.
depends at what age you are being scouted. But yeah, if it's a very young age, then I think height is the one criteria which is always overriding.
Okay. So depends on the age category. There's another question which says, what is your opinion? Do you think that India suffers from early age performance pressure? Because considering how Indian junior teams perform so well and they exhaust the potentials in the senior levels, do you think is this right?
Okay, so it can't be like a very generic thing from for a whole team.
Yes.
It can be from player to player. Again, I said that when you are a sports person, it's not just your physical fitness or your flexibility or your skills that matters. It's a lot of times your mental thing. So if you talk about big players and if you talk about their strategies, they will talk a lot about the mind game. They will not talk about the physical strength. Yes, that is very, very important. You can't say, oh, I'm very strong, but then I'm not working on my agility. So that doesn't matter. But yeah, that should not be the case. But then it has to be equal. You have to be mentally strong as well to understand that what is tiring you and what is motivating you. And there is a very thin line between you know uh, uh, getting pushed or getting motivated. The same
Yes.
lines can be demotivating for somebody, but can be motivating for the other person. So it's how you have developed yourself mentally. So like I said, that whether you see the silver lining in COVID situation or you think that my life is shattered, it's up to you. So how you see the world. So I won't say that the senior team is not performing at all. There are other factors also which are always involved there, which I don't think so I am capable enough to comment on right now, because yeah, because I've never been into any scouting or any national or international teams or games, so I don't think so I know the reality. Yes, I've heard a lot, but I don't think so I would want to pass on what I've heard and not seen
Right.
myself.
Right. Maybe we can conclude saying that not only starting early, but sustaining for a longer period of time. So, like you said, you have to not only be physically strong and know the skills and learn the game, but also psychologically, the passion has to be driving you and motivating you throughout. With the constraint, there are more questions that are lined up, but with the constraint of time, we'll have to close on the session for now. And I really thank you, Veena ma'am, for your valued input and your time basically. And I think your optimism is really infectious, and it's going to motivate all our students to, or all the viewers who have been watching this, to achieve their goals. Okay, my dear friends, we'll be having more such questions and more such sessions. which will help us learn more about the newer industries. We're going to meet more people. And the next session will be at 4:30 on 24th of July. So that is Friday. So I'm going to see you there. For further details, you can follow the social media handles and try and get updates on that same. Before we say goodbye, we would like to thank Dr. Mrs. Ansi Jose, ma'am, for her vision and opening the doors to a rising career in sports management to the youth. We wish to express our sincere gratitude to Miss Soni, Veena Soni, ma'am. We would like to thank the entire team of NASM, VGU, SGSU, and NAME to make this event, successful webinar. A big thank you to all the attendees of today's webinar for their kind presence and sending in some great questions. We wish you all the best for your career. Stay home and stay safe. Thank you.